So today we're going to go over the 3 rhetorical strategies for persuasion again. Those are ethos, pathos, and logos. Ethos being a ethical argument. Basically, it is where you are establishing that you or your sources are experts, they're reliable, they are people that should be trusted and counted on. Pathos is much more about passion. It's about an emotional appeal. You're trying to tug on people's heartstrings. You're trying to connect to them in a way that functions outside of, say, logic or reason. And then lastly, you have logos. That's a logical argument. You're going to use statistics and information. You are going to use reason to try and persuade someone to come over to your side of an argument. That's ethos, pathos, and logos. So what we're going to take a look at is an argument that I will be making here. It's going to be about global warming. My claim or my thesis statement, it's going to be very specific. It's going to be that global warming is real. It is caused by carbon emissions, and that those carbon emissions are created by humans. So let's look at 3 different types of argument that we could use here. So I'm going to use pathos first, the emotional appeal. So I have to establish in some way that humans have created carbon emissions, and that carbon emissions have caused climate change. And one of the ways we're going to do that is establishing that the climate has changed. Look at this sad polar bear. It is scrawny, it is sickly, it is dying. And that's because climate change has changed its entire environment. It's taken away its food supply. They can't get to the ice, so they can't get to the seals. And what I'm hoping for is that you as a person have some human decency, and you have an emotion here, and you look at this animal and you feel bad. Somewhere along the line you have had a pet, you've had a cat, you've had a dog, you've had an animal that you would not want to be sick, that you would not want to be hurting, and you feel that same way about the polar bear. But sometimes you can't appeal to someone else's emotion. You can't make that personal connection. And that's where logos comes in, using logic and reason, statistics and information.
But if you look at the data from 2016 compared to other years, it's easy to see that climate change is happening, and it's been happening for some time now. Each of the 16 months leading up to September 2016 broke the global average high temperature record.
But just as emotion is often not enough, sometimes statistics delivered by a reporter or a late night talk show host or a teacher aren't enough. Sometimes we need to appeal to ethics. Sometimes we need to establish that either we or our sources are an expert. And that's what Jimmy Kimmel's about to do here. He's talking about climate change, but he's a comedian. So who does he look to?
Hi, I'm Aradhana Tripathi. I'm a paleoclimatologist and isotope geochemist.
Hi, I'm Alex Hall, and I'm a climate scientist.
I'm Jeremy Pell, and I'm a hydroclimatologist.
I'm Nina Karnofsky, and I'm a polar ecologist.
I'm Chuck Taylor, and I'm an environmental analytical chemist.
I'm John Dorsey. I'm a marine environmental scientist.
Over the past 40 years, thousands of scientists have studied climate change.
Definitely happening.
And it's caused by human beings.
That's you and me.
And the consequences could be extremely dire.
Catastrophic.
Apocalyptic.
So remember, when we use emotion to appeal to audience, that's pathos. When we use statistics, logic, and reason, that's logos. And when we try to establish ourselves or our sources as experts using credentials, that's ethos. And those are our rhetorical strategies.